Hello, my name is Dr. Lane Robson. I'm a pediatrician and a pediatric kidney and bladder specialist. I've been working as a physician for almost 50 years. Yep, I'm that old. For the last 20 years, I've limited my practice to only those families who have a child with day or nighttime wetting. When you work in a small area for that long, you'll learn a thing or two. Over my career, I've published over 80 medical articles in peer-reviewed journals just on pee problems, voiding problems in children. In 2006, the New England Journal of Medicine, arguably the most influential medical journal in the world, invited me to write a review article on bedwetting. This confirms that I have a solid international reputation. I developed a series of videos to help families who have a child with day or nighttime wetting towards dryness. I hope you enjoy the videos. Thank you. Hello, my name is Dr. Lane Robson. The question I'm going to answer today is, why do children wet the bed? There are three factors that come together to cause bedwetting in every child. Those three factors are: 1. The bladder is smaller than average. 2. The kidneys make more pee overnight than that small bladder can hold. And 3. The brain does not wake up the child when the bladder is full. Now, the average elementary age child who wets the bed every night, 7 nights out of 7, is filling up and emptying his bladder an average of 3 times every night. And the bladder in that child who wets every night, 7 out of 7 nights, is less than 50% of the average size for age. So this means in those children who wet every night that the bladder is usually filling up once before midnight, once after midnight, and then once later in the morning. Now, for the average to be 3 fill-ups and empties a night, that means, of course, I see some children whose bladders only fill up once a night, and their bladders are bigger, usually 50% to 75% of average. I also see children whose bladders fill up and empty up to 6 times, and their bladders are very small. Now, bedwetting always starts with a small bladder. And the small bladder is almost always because of hard, solid, pasty poop that's pressing on the bladder at the bottom of a small pelvis. How big is a pelvis in a 2-year-old that's toilet trained? That big? Well, if you've got hard, pasty, or solid poop pressing on the bladder can't hold as much as it should. The bladder is designed to push a liquid out a hole. The bladder was not designed to push hard, solid, or pasty poop out of the way. So the small bladder almost always starts with poop pressure at the bottom of a bony pelvis. Now, the small bladder is going to change some fundamental aspects in that child's life. That child is going to pee differently during the day, and that child's going to drink differently during the day. Over time, the child learns that they have to pee frequently because their bladder is small, and so they reduce their away-from-home daytime fluid intake at school so that they don't have to pee as often. This means that the child doesn't drink very much throughout the day at school and then arrives home thirsty. The biggest drink of the day is usually when they get through the door after school. They're dehydrated. Then they have another drink usually before supper, and then a big drink at supper, and some are still clamoring for fluids, water in the evening. Not unexpectedly, when you drink this much water in that very narrow window from 3:30 to 7:30, that pushes pee production overnight, and the bladder fills up even more. The small bladder also has an influence on whether a child can learn to wake up to pee. When a small bladder fills up multiple times at night, including early in the sleep cycle before midnight, when the prevalence of deep sleep is highest, it's very difficult for a child to learn to wake up to pee. So, the three factors that come together to cause bedwetting in every child is the bladder is smaller than it should be because of poop pressure. The kidneys make more pee overnight than that bladder can hold and fill up that bladder multiple times usually. And the brain doesn't wake the child up when the bladder is full because it's really difficult to learn to wake up to pee early in the sleep cycle and multiple times a night. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. For further information, please consider visiting my website, www.drlanerobson.com. For further information in a written format, please consider purchasing my book, How to Cure Bedwetting, packed with lots of information that will help parents lead their child to dryness. Have a great day. Thank you.